Middle-aged and crazy was how Jim Ross would start dubbing Terry once he went past 40, but Terry was just getting started and totally reinvented himself in his mid-40s. Nobody can forget the classic turn on Ric Flair in 1989. I mean, you probably never saw it because you weren't in the territory at the time. This is in WCW, with the pile driver onto the table, which actually injured Flair's neck, that led to the famous I Quit match. And it was also one of the very first double turns that was broadcast, because Flair was the bad guy feuding with Ricky Steamboat, who was the good guy. Flair had just won the WCW title, and then straight away Terry Funk turns up. He's one of the judges for that match. And then within 2 minutes, Terry Funk goes to congratulating Flair to attacking him, and that sets up the next feud for the next few months. Another fun fact about that was that Terry Funk, in another angle on TV, tried to suffocate Ric Flair with a plastic bag, which drew many, many complaints from many, many viewers at the time, and especially in Turner Brass as well were very upset. Gary Hart accepted responsibility for that. Now, I'm going to move on further. He started in his mid-40s doing moonsaults.
Gary Hart, the same guy who hates the Mantells.
Yeah, he hates one of the Mantells. We can never quite figure out which one it is, but...
Okay. Go ahead.
So moonsault's still a rarity in the United States, but he's completely reinventing himself in his mid-40s here. Then he goes on to become the hardcore legend that we know him as today. He was always hardcore for his time period. He was always ahead of the curve for his time period, always trying to reinvent himself, always trying to keep up with the times. But Terry would really go to extremes in the 1990s, getting involved in the deathmatch scene for FMW, as we were discussing before, and later for Victor Quinones' IWA Japan, where he would have his infamous series of death matches with Mick Foley as Cactus Jack, including exploding rings, barbed wire, C4 boards, fire, and more. Why did Terry do this? Why did he just decide, now I'm a deathmatch wrestler?
I think he enjoyed it. I really do. And it was something that, you know, as you get older, your body can't take the abuse anymore. So if you put a lot of little play toys out there that you can play with that make a big pop and a boom and some smoke, see, it's smoke and mirrors, you covering it up. So, and it was new. It was new and it was interesting. And I think Mick Foley liked it. Terry liked it. And that was during that hardcore era. So I think that's one reason it was more creative for Terry than it was physical, and it was easier to do. Mm-hmm. So I never really liked it myself because I don't like things loud in my ears or smoke that I'm breathing, or, I mean, he kind of left me in that. But Terry, a lot of people like to see him in that environment because it fit him. It totally fit Terry's personality, because you expect Terry Funk to do something crazy, and he was having to top what he had done before, and that was possibly the only way to do it. Well, there was probably other ways, but that's the way he decided on. And he had a lot of help with Mick and the style in Japan. So, and I don't know if he came up with these ideas or they were presented to him, but he took them and he ran with them and he got it over. So, and see, all they wanted there is people to buy a ticket. Now it's, you know, we want a view on the internet, but that would be a way to get views. I've seen a lot of hardcore matches. They do it the hard way. They go out and they get all these damn fluorescent light bulbs and bust them, you know, which is, but after a while, if you see so much of that, it gets old quick, really quick. But if you got some bombs on the ropes and some barbed wire and it goes off. Remember AEW tried it? Did you see that?
Yeah, and then the explosion didn't work.
Oh, nothing. It just looked like two guys laying on top of each other in the ring. And I don't know who set that up, but I think they should be fired after that night.
I want to ask you this, right? So I gave you a list of a few sort of more famous weapons that these deathmatch deals are all about. So of all, and I'm sure you're going to say all of them, but if you had to pick one that you absolutely would refuse to work with, would it be the barbed wire? Would it be the C4 boards? Would it be fire? Would it be glass, which seems to be in the news quite a lot? Would it be a weed whacker, on your back or something? But of those ones I've just mentioned, which is the most extreme that you think would do the most damage, or is the least easy to control?
The weed whacker, I wouldn't mind working with that if I was doing the whacking.
Well, yeah. Okay, if you're going to take it.
Yeah, if I'm going to take it, I don't think so.
Mm.
And the fire, I don't like the fire. And what were the other ones you had?
C4
the C4
board, yeah.
What is that?
They put like little tiny bits of C4 explosive on a wooden board, sometimes also covered in barbed wire, and then it explodes when impact is made.
No, well, I don't know about that either. And what was the other thing you had?
Glass.
What kind of glass? Real glass? I mean, like fluorescent light bulb glass?
Yeah, let's say a fluorescent light bulb. I suppose that's the least dangerous.
Yeah, that can still cut you like a...
Oh, yeah. Forget about
So
that.
now you know why they call it wrestling. So we don't do stuff like that. But if you had the hardcore stuff, now I've had barbed wire matches. I've had that. But now WWE have it. They put it up. It's not even barbed wire. It does looks. It's what?
When did they have a barbed wire match? I don't remember this.
Yeah, but they came out with it, but it's not barbed wire. It's actually plastic. That looks like barbed wire. But I have had a few barbed wire matches in Puerto Rico.
Well, how was the barbed wire set up? Did they replace the ropes, or was it just strewn along the ropes?
It was wrapped around the ropes. And they would have a strand going around each rope, or, from corner to corner. You may have to have, you got 4 sides, 3, 12. Yeah, you got 12 pieces of barbed wire, one around each rope. And I had a match in Puerto Rico one time. It was barbed wire and fire too, I think. I wasn't in it, of course. Eddie Gilbert was in it because it was his idea. He wanted it. I said, well, take it and do it. Because he liked that stuff too. But I didn't.